Hi guys, welcome back to the workshop. Happy New Year. Hope you all had a great Christmas and a lovely New Year and you didn't drink too much. If you're new to the channel, why don't you go down, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon, and you'll be notified every time I upload a new video, which I'm hoping to do every week. If you're already subscribed, welcome back. And in today's video I'm going to be showing you how I made this simple bird box out of scrap. Now the wood I'm going to be using is from an old bed base, and as you can see it is absolutely riddled with staples that I'm going to have to remove before I can use it. So after spending hours removing all the staples, I could then run the pieces through my planer thicknesser just to clean up the rough edges. Then it was over to the miter saw to cut them down to rough lengths. Then I just went over them by hand with a bit of sandpaper just to clean up any tear out. Once that was done, I could then begin gluing all the pieces together. Now I did have a slight problem when I started clamping it together, because as soon as I applied any pressure the wood wanted to curl up, so I ended up putting it on a bench and putting loads of weight on it to keep it straight and flat. Then it was back to the table saw to cut all the different pieces down to their final size. Here I'm just marking the angles for the pitched roof, and I do that by finding the centre and then simply drawing a line from the centre point down to where two boards actually meet up, and and then I just mark the line, and then I can go over to the bandsaw and cut it out. And once the roof angles were cut out, I then had to try and work out the angles that I needed to cut the top of the roof. And to do that, I'd simply tilted the table on my bandsaw until it was in line with the cut line, and then simply cut it using the bandsaw. Now I did have to do this twice, because the first one wasn't the correct angle. You will see later on in the build that these little offcuts come in handy later on. Now it was time to drill out the hole, and on the RSPB website it specified a 3.2mm hole, but the smallest or the closest drill bit I had was a 3.5, so that will have to do. Now I can slap some of my redwood stain on. It's still the only stain I actually have in the workshop at the moment, so you'll notice that a lot of things seem to be getting stained in exactly the same finish, but I do plan on getting some more stains in the future, but at the moment I haven't got round to it, so until then everything will end up with the same stain. And that's how it looks after 2 coats. Once the stain was dry, it was then time to start assembling the bird box, and for this I'm using glue and some brad nails while the glue dries. Now the observant people will notice that I totally forgot to put glue when fixing the front panel, but luckily I remembered before I'd nailed it on completely, and I managed to get some glue along the other edge. Once the main box was complete, it was onto the roof, and this was joined in exactly the same way with plenty of glue and a few brad nails. Then I put a thick bead of glue on the underside of the roof just to kind of weatherproof it a little bit from the elements. And that's the basic bird box finished. Now I could have left it there, but I decided to add some character to the roof. So I cut these small rectangles out of some 6mm ply, and then I took it over to the bandsaw and in stacks of 4 rounded the corners off slightly. Now this would have been easier on a disc sander, but I haven't actually got a disc sander, and my orbital sander is actually packed up, so this was the next best thing. As you can see, it's not pretty, but it'll do the job. Then it was just a case of putting some more stain on these pieces, and I did almost forget to do this step, and I started nailing them on, and I fixed 2 pieces on and then remembered I needed to stain it, so I had to stop what I was doing, go back and stain them, and then once that was done I could then fit them to the roof. To fit these pieces on, I simply just used some short brad nails. I didn't bother gluing because these are quite light. The brad nails will hold them in place. Now in my opinion, this actually gave the roof a much better look. Now this is where those offcuts came in handy. I decided to use 2 pieces to form some sort of ridge cap, and again I put a thick bead of glue just to kind of seal the top from the elements. and then I used the other two offcuts just to finish off the front edge of the roof. And then, like an idiot, I placed it down on the bench and then realised that the two front bits actually stuck out further than the bottom of the roof. So I had to reposition those. And that's the roof finished. And I'm not actually going to fix the roof in place because I want to be able to lift that off and clean the box out should any birds nest in there. Right guys, that's going to wrap this video up. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to build your own bird box, you can go to www.rspb.org.uk, and they've actually got dimensions and plans for a bird box, and they also tell you about the different size holes that you need for certain birds, etc. So that's the site I actually went to when I was trying to work out how big to make it and whether it was important what size the hole was. So yeah, go to www.rspb.org.uk, and they do show some simple plans. Obviously I've changed it up a little bit and made it a bit more interesting to look at. So I will probably put a picture in of the plans they actually give, and yeah, so until the next video, that's a wrap from me, and I will see you soon. Cheers for watching guys, bye. Right guys, I hope you enjoyed that quick video. Now anyone that wants to make a bird box or something